Well, hello and welcome to the Informed Traveler Podcast, a weekly travel podcast where our goal is to help you become a more informed traveler. And I'm your host, Randy Sharman. Travel expert Onanta Forbes has been touring around Sicily this past week, so we'll get the highlights and insights from her in a few seconds. And if your mom, daughter, sister, aunt, or even yourself, if you're a female, has been hesitant to travel because you don't have anyone to go with and don't want to travel alone, the Solo Female Traveler Network might be the answer for you. We'll chat with the founder to learn more about it later in the podcast. But first, let's kick things off chatting with travel expert Onanta Forbes, who joins us each week to discuss some of the travel news and travel trends. You can follow her on Instagram, Facebook, and X at Onanta Forbes. OnantaForbes.com is her website. Hello, Onanta.
Ciao, Randy. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I've been looking at some of your pictures and video on Instagram and Facebook of your tours in Sicily. They look amazing. So tell us all about it.
So this week, I explored the island two completely different ways. First by sea and then by rail. So both were able to give me some pretty different perspectives of this beautiful island. So if you spend any time near the harbor in Syracuse, especially around Ortigia where I am, you'll notice boat tours everywhere. They go on sunset sails, cave trips, large group excursions. There's something for everyone. So we chose a small tour organized through the local information office. And it actually ended up just being the two of us and the skipper, which was nice, almost like a private tour, right? Because it's off season, the likelihood of that is good, very good. And it was just interesting because it was an open motorized rowboat, but it quite big. Like it could handle probably up to 20 people really at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. And then there's no real booming microphones or no group commentary. It's just a very relaxed ride along the coastline. It was lovely. He put on some soft guitar music playing in the background. So it really added to the ambiance. One thing I do, want to point out though, it's not got the OH&S that we have in North America. So we weren't given, any life jackets. And I can't swim, so hopefully he could, and he could save me, but no issues along the way.
That's weird. Hey,
it is. But I've been watching all these boat tours and none of them have life jackets. So keep that in mind.
They don't even have life jackets on board?
I didn't notice any. And there was one point we had to go under a very low bridge. So we had to drop to the floor of the boat. And I couldn't see any when I was right crouched down. So no.
Interesting.
So when you leave, you go around like the inner harbor and you get to see where all the leisure boats are, as well as boats that they take out for fishing. Mm-hmm. And then you exit. And then you basically go along the coastline. So it's a great way to see the island, Ortigia. From the boat, you get to see war memorials, quite lovely, different churches. One of the things that we were able to see on the tip of the island is called Castello Manonis, and it rises like right out of the orange. It's very dramatic. It's like an orange, or not orange, but maybe honey-colored buildings against the blue skyline. This is where actually, if you watch the last Indiana Jones, this is where they filmed some of it. And the guide actually said that some Netflix and Amazon productions were filmed here. And then you got to cruise along limestone cliffs, and then there's like sea caves that have been made over a long time with the erosion and the water pounding against it. Quite interesting. Like you get to go into some if the waves are right. Mm-hmm. And it's quite blue because the sunlight actually can turn the water into a very electric color blue. It doesn't even look real, but it's quite interesting to see. And then, in the summer, you can, stop within your, departure for a swim. We didn't, of course, because it's just not the right.
Because you don't know how to swim.
Yes, there's that. And it wasn't the right time of year. Yeah, good point. I can't swim, so we're not stopping. But and then even just being out on the water and looking back at the old city walls, it feels different from just walking the streets. You can kind of see everything in a bigger perspective.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
it was really neat. It was neat. And it was actually relatively inexpensive. It was for about an hour, 15 euros per person. So
Oh, that's good.
not bad. No,
And like
not
a
at
private
all.
tour, like you said, you were the only
Yeah.
ones on the boat.
That's right.
Nice.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really quite neat. And there wasn't any huge wind, so there weren't massive waves that they had to handle or anything like that. So it was very pleasant. Yes. So
Nice.
a few days later, we swapped the boat for the train, and we headed north to Taormina. And the journey itself is quite beautiful. It's about 2 hours. And then you get to see like sea views. You get to see the different villages and towns. And then you're gonna get to see also glimpses of Mount Etna in the distance. And we had really good weather on that day as well. So we got to see Mount Etna in different ways. And it's almost like seeing Mount Fuji if you were in Japan. It was quite amazing. We did buy our tickets online through Trent Italia. It's basically digital regional tickets. So they're auto validated when we enter the train, but you still get checked once shortly after departure and then once about midway through by a conductor both ways. So either have your tickets ready in hand or have a picture of it so that they can scan the barcode. Towards the end of the day, my phone started to die. Not enough battery. So it was good that my partner had his phone, and in case of that, backup, or you might want to just print it if you're at a hotel or have access to printing, but you do need your tickets. Interestingly enough, on the return journey, police officers boarded, and they carry out random ID checks throughout the carriage. It's very calm, very routine, and it's something that happens quite normally in Sicily and probably even in Italy more broadly. The one thing is they didn't ask me and my partner for any checks, but they seem to be focusing on families, with traveling with kids. So I don't know if, trafficking is something that they are taking very seriously, but yeah, it wasn't individuals, so per se. And if you are using a paper regional ticket, you must validate it at the station before boarding. There's like green insert, like you just kind of slide it in and it clicks.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't, fines start around 50 euros. Even if you have paid but you haven't validated.
Really?
So yeah.
Wow.
So it's pretty serious. They take that very seriously. So do take that into consideration. Now, going into Taormina is beautiful. The town itself, it's like on top of a hill, like it climbs above you. So you'll either need to take a bus or a taxi, or you can, if you're a go-getter, you can really have a determined uphill walk. But it takes 30 minutes, and it is uphill. We took the bus because we wanted to focus our energy on exploring. That's my thoughts anyway.
Good choice, though. I think that was a good choice. You don't want to wear yourself out.
No. And it's the first time you're at the destination. Suppose you take a wrong turn and you end up somewhere you're not supposed to be and you're not walking to the village.
Right.
So it was only 2 euros. They take cash or they take credit card. So it was easy to move along. It's a beautiful destination. Like where you get let off, you enter through like this like town gates almost. It's just a big, huge arch in the walls that you just walk through. And the first thing that you see is it's the main pedestrian street, and it's lined with shops and cafes and historic buildings. It's called Corso Umberto. and it's beautiful. It's busy, even though this is supposed to be off season. Goodness, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of cruise shore excursion people.
Oh.
And it's not just a couple of tours; it's a lot of them, and it's just amazing how many there are. To the point that you kind of get annoyed. So could you imagine summer? It'll be wall to wall. It'll
Oh,
be,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And then what we did first of all is we went to, it's called Teatro Greco. It's an ancient Greek theater, and it's just a showstopper. Like through like stone arches, you can see the sea and Mount Etna. It's just gorgeous. And if you were on my social media, you were able to see some of the pictures I took. We were able, it was interesting. Like we were just standing in line waiting to get tickets. And there is a, English speaking guide that comes and says, well, do you want to come? It's a 30-minute guided tour. And it costs this much. And we said, no, we'll just manage it. And then I guess, maybe it was just off season. She came back after, goes, how about you pay for one person? I go, okay. And it was so interesting. She told us about how it looked like an amphitheater, but it really wasn't. And, then you see through the stone arches, the sea and Mount Etna. You can watch different productions, while you're there, whether it's theater or ballet. Sometimes people rent it out for weddings and such. It's just a beautiful place to go to and a must see. It's very much a highlight. And then you go to the Villa Comunale. It's a public garden, doesn't cost anything to go in, and has beautiful paths and flowers and elevated views over the bay. And what was very lovely to see was on the trees, very old trees, there was little signs in wood giving tribute to soldiers that have fallen in the wars.
Oh.
So it was a lovely way as well to see that tribute, because in Europe, of course, they were more involved in the war than we were, in a sense that it was here, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Not to say that we were not involved from North America perspective. But
and they were also on the other side, like on the side of Germany too, right?
yeah, so it's very interesting how history plays out in Europe. And it's a different perspective that you should learn about and understand. And then we went to, there's a Piazza 9 April. It's a terrace, which really allows you to see the views of the coastline and Etna. There's also a opportunity. You can take the cable car down to the beach. It's called Isla Bella. And it's like a tiny island nature reserve, and it's connected to the mainland by a narrow sand strip. In summer, it's really nice for swimming and sunbathing. Depending on the tide, you have to be careful because sometimes the water covers that strip. So it's quite it's a lovely area to go to as well, or another place. Now, this is not a big area, so it's quite compact, and take your time to go. We only went for a day trip, but if you were exploring Sicily, I would recommend you stay there a few nights. It would be interesting. Just even to experience the various types of restaurants the food there and so on. Now, Taormina has also become quietly a cinematic backdrop. I don't know. Have you ever watched the White Lotus series?
No.
So, season 2 was here. It was in Sicily, and there's a 4 seasons here called San Domenico Palace. And this is where they film certain seats here. Before White Lotus, you could stay there for like maybe 500 euros a night. After White Lotus, it's like 6,000 euros a night. Hate to say that, but yeah. So they have different filming here. I'm a big Belmont fan, so I was able to see the Belmont Hotel that's here. They closed for the season though, so they weren't open for me to walk around and check it out. A place where it would attract a lot of luxury travelers as well. So keep that in mind. So I would definitely recommend it as an opportunity while you're in Sicily. Again, you could take a tour and come up here, or like what we did. We just took local transportation. We Googled what to see, what to do, and did it on our own. So the opportunity is available. You do need a fairly good mobility because you are going up and down stairs. You're going on, gentle, sometimes not so gentle inclines. There's there's stairs and so on. So just keep that in mind. It's not undoable, but make sure you have good walking shoes as well.
Yeah.
Yes, more than anything. So what I thought I would kind of wrap up our conversation with was just quick tips for Italian trains, because if you are in Italy, traveling by rail is easy. It's good, and it's a way to manage seeing the country. So we talked about validating your regional tickets first of all. And then I would also compare train companies. So there's Trent Italia or Italo, and they may have different prices. If you're looking to book a high-speed train or ticket, do it early, because 2 to 4 weeks in advance is usually the cheapest. And also one thing that I always tell my clients, even before I came here, and just Italy in general, they have random strikes. They're called scioperi. And you should check for strikes, because even when we're on the train on our trip to Taormina, it was announced that this Friday and Saturday they were going on strike from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So, and that was just, if I didn't hear that, I wouldn't have known it. And I'm thinking of going to Noto, and I'm thinking, I'll just buy it online. Well, these things happen. So they say to search Sciopero Treni, Treni, and your dates for strikes, because they do announce it online as well.
Well, at least they're polite enough to say when they're going on strike.
That's right. And I guess there's this different unions, different administration that can go on strike. So it's just not one entity. Yes. And then sit in your assigned seat on high-speed trains. Regional trains, such as ours, was first come, first served. We had no problem getting on it. And they were clean. They were comfortable. So it was nice. But again, we're in off season.
Yeah, I could just imagine what that's like, the chaos getting first come, first served seating in the height of tourism season.
Well, and our route was via Catania, which is one of the places that people can start their trip in Sicily. So it's it's 3 different train stations in Catania that you go through. So it can be very busy because that's a main hub as well. So look for your train number, not just your city, on the departure boards, because that makes a difference. Because there are different, like for us, going and coming. We went through Catania, but there are trains that just go to Catania. So you might think, oh, it's going to Catania, I can get on that train.
Yeah.
And then pack light. If you are like transiting between different places, luggage space is limited, and some platforms require lifting your bags up steep steps. Even for me, getting off the train, I had to really focus on getting off, like walking off the train, because you could trip or not realize the depth of the step.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, and also you might want to ignore helpful, in quotation, strangers at ticket machines. So use official machines or apps. And then check your seat assignment in the app right before boarding, because seats can change. And you don't want to get in a scrap with somebody.
No.
Really on a train. Yes. Yeah. And then download the right app. So there's Trent Italia, Italo, Trainline for price comparison, and Trentit for real-time updates. And I'm going to apologize again. I'm probably not saying all these words properly. So, but we'll always put it on my social media so that you can see exactly how it's spelled. So
Mm-hmm.
here, Italian trains are fast, they're scenic, they're efficient. And once you know the rules, they're pretty straightforward.
Nice. Well, perfect. Wow, that's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff. You've done a
Yeah.
lot and some great tips in there. I want to go to Italy now.
You should go
Or
to Italy.
Sicily, I mean.
Yeah. Well, it
Yeah.
for, the last couple of days, it's becoming like a it destination,
Mm-hmm.
um, to go to and such. You just have to plan accordingly. And what I would recommend, like, yes, we're here for a long stay, but always looking at what if, or what could I have done differently? I probably would have, moved around a little bit more. Like I maybe would have stayed here and then gone to somewhere else on the island and
Uh-huh.
stayed there and done this and so maybe but again, you never know till you know.
Well,
Right?
this is true.
Yes.
This is why you
Yeah.
do things. So next time.
Yes. Yeah. But but that's why, when you're staying in one spot, you find things to do, like the day trips and
Mm-hmm.
so on. And,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't have to be, like all day. You could just go visit a castle for a couple of hours
Yeah,
and
exactly. Spread it
that's,
out over time because you're going to be there
yeah.
for a while, right?
Yeah, right. That's it exactly. So that was week. Well, we're not even done week 2, but we're into our week 2. But yeah, so it's very interesting here. Very, very lovely. No, like what I really would, another tip, download a Google Translate or some kind of translate app because
Very helpful.
oh my goodness. Like you could verbally put in what you're saying or they could do it so that you can communicate or write it in, but it's necessary.
Nice. Good
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Good tips. Great advice. People can see your images of the places that you were talking about on your Instagram, Facebook feeds, and on X at Onanta Forbes. And your website is onantaforbes.com. It was real fun chatting with you, Onanta. I learned a lot.
Always. Yes. You take care and ciao.
This is the Informed Traveler Podcast. I'm Randy Sharman. Just want to remind you of our website, theinformedtraveler.org. That's where you can find our contact page if you have any questions or comments about the podcast. You can also email me, too, with any questions you might have. My email address is randy at theinformedtraveler.org. And you can check out our social media pages, too, at facebook.com/informedtraveler, Instagram at Informed Traveler, or on X at Informed Traveler. That's where you'll find a number of videos and reels from our adventures throughout the year and audio clips from our past shows. Plus, you can sign up for our monthly newsletter. It's released at the beginning of every month. Our February issue is available now. Just go to our website, theinformedtraveler.org, click on the newsletter button, and it'll take you right there. Or better yet, you can subscribe to it and have it arrive in your inbox each month. So this segment is for the ladies only, although, gentlemen, you're welcome to listen too. But if you're a female and have been hesitant to travel because you don't have anyone to go with and don't want to travel alone, the Solo Female Traveler Network might be the answer. So joining us now to tell us more about it is Amanda Black. She is the founder of the Solo Female Traveler Network. The solofemaletravelernetwork.com is the website. Hi, Amanda. Tell me about the Solo Female Traveler Network. I got to say it slowly, otherwise I'm going to butcher it.
I know.
What's
It's
it
a
all
tongue-
about? I mean, the name says a lot, but what's it all about and how does it work?
Well, first you can call us Sophie Travel, SOFE Travel, because it's a mouthful for us all. But we are first and foremost, a community for women who travel solo. We started about 10 years ago, so we're over 500,000 members strong, and it's free and it's awesome and it's online. We also do small group trips just for women. So for those destinations that are perceived as less safe for women and you don't really want to go all by yourself, or those destinations that are more logistically difficult to go alone, we have those too.
Nice. Well, and I think this is truly is a female phenomena, right? I like there could be men's travel groups out there, but I haven't heard of any. And it is a sort of a female women, I should say, are more open to doing this type of thing. Is that what you found?
Yeah, I think that women just have a different set of concerns than men do. And when we travel, we have to worry about things like safety and cultural norms and differences more so sometimes than men do.
Mm-hmm.
And also we just need girl time. So there's also that.
I was thinking more of the girl time than some of the things that women have to look out for versus men. And even with all those barriers, I don't know how to use that word, but hurdles, I guess, women are still more open to meeting other women and just doing things together for that girl time, aren't they?
I think so. Yeah.
So tell me, some of the types of trips you've done. I'm looking at your website, and yeah, they are not, a shopping trip to Las Vegas. Not that there's anything wrong with shopping trips to Las Vegas, but you're looking at some of the trips on here: Kenya, Tanzania, Zanzibar, Rwanda. There's a Halloween tour to Dracula's castle. So there's all kinds of really, really interesting tours. So tell me about some of them.
We started with tours that were, what I really wanted was to open up different corners of the world that felt less possible to travel all by yourself. I started out as a solo traveler and I traveled for years and years, and there really were some places that were more difficult than others by myself, and they would have been more enjoyable if I had had some people with me or had people to show me around and kind of guide a little bit. So that's what we started doing. It was really inspired by the women in our community who would say things like, "Oh man, I really want to go to India, let's say, but I don't know if I can do it yet. I just don't know if I'm ready for that." Because India is a little bit more overwhelming. It's culturally very different. Safety is very different. It's just a different place. Mm-hmm. So that's really how we started this, for those destinations that I just wanted to open up the world to make it more accessible to travelers.
And so what's been the feedback? I'm on, I get the impression that this is a growing trend and it's only going to grow further, right?
I hope so.
From your end, yes, I guess so. But I think women get inspired more, and they're more open to doing this where they may not have been maybe 10 or 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah, I think that when we started 10 years ago, there weren't so many spaces for this. There weren't as many influencers like they are today telling everyone to travel solo. There weren't lots of groups for women to travel, who wanted to travel solo. There wasn't a lot of support or buzz about it when I started the community, but very quickly, especially about like right after the pandemic, it just really blew up. And so there's multiple communities to get involved in. There's, solo female travel is almost not even niche anymore. It's pretty mainstream. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it makes me so happy, because it just means that more and more women are realizing that they can chase all these travel dreams that they've had.
Mm-hmm. So what are some of the questions that pop up when people sign up? I'm sure there's a few that come up more often than others. What are some of the common questions or concerns or that pop up when people are doing this for the first time?
Safety is always number one. That's where everyone starts, really. And then another one would be how do I plan a trip? How do I decide where I'm going to go? How do I even, at the very beginning, you're like, how do I book flights? Where do I go for that? So, safety first, logistics second, and then it kind of goes from there.
And so how does it work? Like if I'm looking on your website, which I am right now, thesolofemaletravelernetwork.com, I sign up, it's free, and then I can just sort of search around through if there's any trips that I see that are interesting. I just take it from there, right?
Sort of. So if you want to join our community, it lives on Facebook in a Facebook group. And that community is over 500,000 members. And that's really for any and every solo female traveler in the world. It's a place to ask your questions, to connect. If something weird happens when you're abroad, there's probably women in that group who are in that same city. So there's lots of support. If you want to go actually travel and you either don't honestly want to go alone, or you want to go to a destination that you don't feel comfortable yet going by yourself, or you just want to maximize your PTO and make tons of awesome new friends, then you go to our website and find one of our destinations and sign up, and we take you.
Cool. So you don't necessarily have to even go on a trip to make friends if it's a community group like that, and you're, in chat groups and things like that, just learning about just in different destinations and offering opinions. And I'm assuming there's probably a lot of expertise.
Yeah, I think it's a very different experience whether you travel all by yourself, like truly totally solo, versus traveling solo but with a group like ours. It's just a totally different experience. So neither of them are better than the other. I think they each have a season in life, they each have a time and a place, but yeah, so I guess, we are kind of offering two different things. Our community is global and really powerful, and for everyone, whether you travel with us or didn't even know we offer tours. And then we have the tours that we offer, which are small group. We really have already done all the legwork. So in some of those places, I've spent months meeting the people and exploring the whole country and really choosing very carefully what is in that itinerary. And so there are things in there that you may never you wouldn't find on your own, and connections with people and locals that I've made that would take you just as long. So you don't have to. You can come with us and exactly. Experience it that way.
So do you have some general tips for single female travelers? I know you talked about safety a lot, and that's probably a big concern, but any just sort of general advice for female solo travelers?
I could go talk for hours about general, but I think safety is usually the first one. So I think that for everyone, safety is the number one concern, right? Like, you're choosing a destination. Is it safe? You want to go travel solo. Is that safe? So I think though that safety, keeping yourself safe as a solo traveler at the end of the day is really a skill, and it's not black and white. Is that country safe? Usually, with some exceptions, but usually the answer isn't really a clear yes or no. It's way more nuanced than that. So it's a skill, right? So here are some general safety tips. One is always keep your phone charged, which may sound silly and obvious, but it's not. You'll be out taking pictures all day long. You'll be miles from electricity sometimes, but it's really important that you have a plan for when your battery gets low, because your phone is your translator. It's your map. It's your connection to emergency services. It's following your location. Maybe you have people following where you are. So it's really important to keep your phone charged. I would also say, and I made this mistake so often when I started traveling, book your accommodation ahead of time and make it your priority. Safe, comfortable accommodation is mandatory. There are so many times when I was traveling that I'm a very spontaneous solo traveler when I'm by myself, and I would book maybe my first night and then I would go figure it out from there. But while it was fun and a lot of times went well, sometimes things got weird. So, and it's very avoidable. Read reviews. Don't always book the cheapest thing just because it's cheap. Make sure it's also safe.
So what are your tours like now? How big are the groups? Do you have a minimum amount of people before a tour actually goes? That sort of thing.
Our tours are up to 14 women, and there are minimums. It kind of depends on the destination. Usually
Mm-hmm.
4, maybe 6, something like that. We don't often have tours that run with a minimum. We're usually pretty, solidly sold out. And really everything is taken care of. So when you go to our website and you look at the itineraries, everything is included. Lots of meals are included, which are detailed in the itinerary. And you buy your own flight from wherever you're coming from. You arrive on day 1. We pick you up from the airport, and then we take you to the hotel to meet the group, and then we take you on an incredible adventure.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like an incredible adventure. What's been the feedback from some? Obviously, if your site is growing, people are enjoying what they're doing.
Yeah, we have lots and lots of repeat travelers who come on our tours. We have a traveler who has been on 11 of our tours now, and we have others who have been on 7, on 5, 6. Once you become a part of this community, especially in real life on these tours, it's so special that people keep coming back.
Well, people can definitely go on your website, join up the Solo Female Traveler Network.com. I'm going to say that very slowly. You don't necessarily have to book a trip right away. You can just be part of the community. I imagine that's the biggest part of it, right? Is just the community itself and the sharing of information and becoming friends online.
Yeah, the community is really part of it, is the biggest part of it. And then our trips really bring that community into real life, into doing what we all love most.
So no excuse for someone that's thinking, gee, I don't want to go by myself anymore.
That's right.
Amanda Black is the founder of the Solo Female Traveler Network. The Solo Female Traveler Network.com again is the website. It was fun chatting with you, Amanda. Thank you so much.
You too. Thanks, Randy.
And that is our show for this week. If you have comments or questions, we'd love to hear from you. If you have a show idea, send that along as well. My email is randy@theinformedtraveler.org. And if you like what you heard, tell a friend. You can check out our website too at theinformedtraveler.org. In the meantime, thanks for listening, travel safe, and be an informed traveler.